Yeah, I
Pretty
don't,
cool.
I had to tell myself early on, you're not the scorekeeper.
Yeah.
You're not the official scorekeeper. You don't need to count balls and strikes.
Right.
You don't need to, you don't need to say, the put out was 7, 4, 3, 2, 1 or whatever it
Yeah.
is, on a rundown or something like that. Just get the information in there. And, it when I did a podcast back in 23, I did 45 episodes of my own Dodger podcast,
Oh,
and I
wow.
did them all
Yeah.
post game. And it was a lot of work because I did it all myself, all the production, all the
Yeah.
editing, all the everything. And it was after games, so I was kind of tired,
That's exhausting.
And so I was always at the ballpark until 1 o'clock in the morning and stuff, and then whatever. So, but it was a fun process, and just being able to look at my scorebook, I could just tell the whole story of the game,
Yeah.
just by reading my scorebook. And that's what I did. My podcast was called Dodgers Homestand, and it was, a bird's eye view of Dodger baseball from somebody who's at every Dodger game at Dodger Stadium.
Wow.
And so I would do, what we did in the pregame, who sang the anthem, who threw out a first pitch, any other special, if it was a special Filipino Heritage Night or something like that. Then
Yeah.
I'd talk about the game a little bit, and then I do an interview with like the head groundskeeper at Dodger Stadium or somebody like that would give you like an inside
That's
view of
amazing.
what kind
Yeah.
of grass they grew. And
Yeah.
the podcast did pretty well, but I couldn't really monetize it, and or I wasn't able to monetize it in the time that I had. And it was a lot of work that it wasn't returning much on my investment. So
Right. It's a
I
labor of love.
yeah, it's a labor of love, and I'm sure
Yeah.
that's
I
what
mean,
you're going through too.
there's not any I don't work in sports. I don't, I have a full-time uh career in mental health. I work for the Department of Mental Health in LA County. And so doing all of this is extra, and but it's a labor of love, and it's something that I've always wanted to fulfill working in sports since I was a little kid. And no better way than to create your own thing. But it comes with the price to be able to have to do all of this.
Yeah. But that's a great lesson for any young people that want to get into something that they want to do. You just got to find a way to do it.
Right.
If you want to be a singer, you got to sing. You
Yeah.
have to. You can't say, "Oh, well, I really want to be a singer." Well, you got to sing. Find a way to
Right.
sing.
Exactly.
Find a way to do that thing that you think you want to do. And you
Right.
might find out that maybe that's not what you wanted to do,
Right.
but
Yeah.
it's close,
Exactly.
so you're taking your passion for sports and specifically wrestling and I assume boxing as well and other LA sports and just and diving in and so I applaud you for doing that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, it's something that I've always wanted to do since I was a little kid. I would be in my driveway listening to Chick Hearn and listening to 570 radio when they had the Lakers on. They still have the Dodgers on, just in my backyard, just shooting hoops. And it's something I always wanted to mimic and to become. Life takes you different ways, right? But if you can fulfill it in some type of way where it's something that is fulfilling for you, then you got to do it.
Right.
You
But
have to give
hey,
it.
let's be clear. Working in mental health is a very, very important thing. And
Yeah.
so many people these days, they want to become influencers or they want to be,
Right.
I want to be a movie star or I want to
Yeah.
be, there's something to be said for like real serious professions that really help people and help our society. So, sports is a wonderful thing, and I use the ballpark as kind of a sanctuary away from, some of the troubles of the world. Baseball is kind of has its own rhythm and its
Mm.
own,
Yeah.
and so, it's almost an escape, but the real world is out there, and we need good people to be doing the hard jobs like
Right.
mental health and stuff.
It's not
Um,
easy. Yeah.
yeah, my daughter's a clinician, and
Okay.
she works with people with addictions and so forth, and I
Yeah.
know what the work she's doing is very important.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely. I mean, every day is different, when we go out into the community, we assess. And it's a very, it's not meant for everybody, in terms of just dealing with different personalities. And sometimes it can be a little dangerous in terms of like you don't know what people have on them, but at the same time, you're there because you care. You're there because you want to make a difference. Because you could be doing anything else in the world and probably getting paid more. But if it's something that you feel like is fulfilling for you, then it's not about the money. It's not about all those other excess things.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's admirable.